follow their obligations legally and in their profession, getting this waste ready to ship to Yucca. They're going to be ready to ship 9,700 canisters to Yucca. They're doing their job, but the department's not doing its job. Now, that's on a local concern. But on a national concern, I just think this situation is one of a failed state. You know, they talk about failed states around the world. This, because of the failure to follow the clear law here, this is the equivalency of a failed state. We've reached a national decision. It is unpopular in one local part and a beautiful part of the country, as it will be in any part of the country that we ever have this decision made, and yet we can't execute a decision. Now, this sort of flagrant statement that social acceptance is now a legal criteria, I don't understand. I just asked Dr. Lyon, how are we ever to build anything like a nuclear waste repository anywhere in the United States if social acceptance is a mandatory criteria to build something?
I used the example in my testimony of the waste isolation pilot plant in New Mexico, which has the strongest local acceptance, and I noted that there are a number of international examples where, with careful education, with transparent processes, there has been strong acceptance of repository programs.
So why didn't you do the same thing in Nevada? I mean, is there
I also
unique?
indicated in my testimony.
Are you saying there's something unique about Nevadians that make them unique in the United States, and this will be welcome as rosewater in the rest of the United States?
Sir,
I mean, this is a situation, it's going to smell the same no matter what name we put on it. And this is just a failed policy looking for another social acceptance criteria failure around the United States. What evidence do you have that there's any more socially acceptable place for this particular situation?
I provided the example of the waste isolation pilot plant. That's a different repository, different type of repository, but it is a repository and it has strong local acceptance.
And obviously in the decision-making of the department, based on the best science and geology and hydrology, we decided Nevada was the best place. But now you're telling me we're going to maybe look for a less scientifically credible, less geological stable, less hydrologically isolated place because we might get a little better social acceptance. That is a failed policy by a failed state. And I have to just tell you, regardless who the administration is, an abject failure to follow federal law here is most disturbing, and it's unacceptable. And I don't really want to think I want to belabor you with too many more questions. I just want to tell you it's unacceptable by any administration of any party to make a decision when we're dealing with this number of curies of radiation based on social acceptance is just not a winner for this country. Thank you.
Gentleman yields back his time. The vote's being called right now. There's 3 votes. That's probably going to run around 30 minutes.